Hi. In the last video, we talked about the structure and function of neurons. In this video, we'll look more broadly at the structure and function of the central nervous system. At the base of the central nervous system, we have the brainstem and the cerebellum. The brainstem is primarily involved in autonomic or unconscious processes such as breathing and heart rate. The cerebellum plays a role in movement, particularly in maintaining balance and smooth, coordinated movements. We also have the subcortical region that includes the thalamus, the amygdala, the basal ganglia, and the hippocampus. The hippocampus gets its name from the Greek word for seahorse. If you extract the hippocampus, it looks like a seahorse. The hippocampus plays an important role in the formation and retrieval of long-term memories. This was first discovered in the lesion study of HM. A lesion study is an in-depth case study of the deficits that result from damage to a particular area of the brain. In the case of HM, at the age of 27, he had the bilateral extraction of his hippocampi. The hippocampi were removed from both the right and the left hemispheres. HM had suffered debilitating seizures that were not alleviated by the treatments that were available. He elected to have an experimental surgery that involved the complete removal of his hippocampi. The surgery was successful in treating his seizures, but he suffered a devastating side effect. Without his hippocampi, he could no longer form any new long-term memories. Prior to the study of HM, it was not known that this small subcortical structure played such a vital role in memory. HM's inability to form new memories is what's called anterograde amnesia. He also suffered partial retrograde amnesia, or the inability to recall past memories. Lesion studies can provide insight into the function of damaged regions through extensive study of the behavior changes that follow the injury. Of course, with naturally occurring damage due to blunt force trauma or stroke, the damage may not be localized to any single part of the brain, as we saw with the surgical extraction in HM. More sophisticated techniques are needed to understand brain functions in healthy, average individuals. MRI provides detailed images of brain structure. This allows us to compare structural differences of changes within an individual over time or across individuals. In the next chapter, we'll discuss research that has demonstrated increased hippocampal volume in London taxi drivers. We can look to EEG and fMRI to understand patterns of neural activity in the brain. Researchers can measure changes in activity in a particular area compared to baseline. It's important to note that various areas of your brain are active even at baseline. The idea that we use only a small percentage of our brain is absurd. Unless you're in a coma, you're using basically all of your brain all the time. So we're looking at an increase or decrease in activity relative to baseline. So check out the fun videos that are embedded in your slides that discuss lesion studies, the posthumous study of Einstein's brain, and other interesting topics. Make sure that you also know the structure and function of the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is divided into the right and left hemispheres and into 4 lobes. You have the frontal lobe extending from the forehead. The frontal lobe is involved in higher cognitive processes such as decision-making, impulse control, and regulating behaviors. The parietal lobe is at the top and plays a role in processing somatosensory information. touch, pain, etc. The temporal lobes behind the ear are involved in auditory processing and speech. Finally, the occipital lobe in the back receives projections from your optic nerve and is important in visual processing. Keep in mind that just because a behavior or cognitive process is related to activity in a particular area doesn't mean that's the only area involved. Complex behaviors and experiences require communication across entire systems of neural connections. We have parallel and coordinated processing across areas of the brain to produce complex actions and holistic experience.